Hi, I'm Mash Ponigala, brand strategist. Today, let's talk about a little bit of a sticky topic: authenticity, brand authenticity, or it could even be personal brand authenticity. Now, authentic brands and authenticity is something that's become a bit of a magic keyword these days, right? When anyone talks of personal branding, on how to brand yourself on Instagram, for instance, or YouTube, or even when you talk about brands and how they should target their customers or move from red ocean into the blue ocean, people often mention the word authenticity. Now, but I think you need to really step back a little bit and look at this word, what it means, what it really means in the real world, and what it could mean. Now, if you're a personal brand, then authenticity is, of course, about yourself. If you are a brand stakeholder, then authenticity is about your brand and what it means to your target audience. But first, let's take a look at what some of the online kind of strategy and branding firms, agencies refer to when they talk about authenticity. And by the way, I'm not trying to say that they're wrong. I just want to analyze what the popular kind of mindset is when it comes to authenticity, right? And what authenticity means. All right. So first we're looking at Fakir branding. And so these guys are saying how brand authenticity leverages customer loyalty, right? So what is brand authenticity? They're saying, well, brand authenticity breaks above the noise. In a world where digital marketing is more popular than ever, customers are, okay, if you can be authentic in everything you do and say, then your customers will do your marketing for you through word of mouth, bypassing potential roadblocks. Okay, it makes sense. If you can be authentic in everything you do and say. So are they saying that you gotta be honest, you gotta be truthful? Yes. Or are they saying that you gotta be transparent, which means that you do not use any kind of business tactics or marketing tactics or psychological tactics to attract customers, to retain customers, to increase sales? Okay, we don't know that. Brand authenticity makes stronger connections. So genuine messages and ideas resonate more powerfully with people because it's based on real important ideas. Okay. So yeah, step one, be real. Be consistent. Show, don't tell. Blah, blah, blah. All right. What about chief marketer? The art of authenticity in branding. Be honest. More importantly, be self-aware. So understanding your organization from inside out is one of the most important aspects of developing an authentic brand. Okay, so if you understand your organization inside out, so you understand what your brand does, who you're targeting, what your marketing message is, the kind of story you want to tell, could that be considered as being an authentic brand? Maybe, apparently so. Go beyond demographics, okay? Don't shy away from flaws. Okay, so this is something that brand strategists and article writers and, the popular media, they tend to support this idea that you shouldn't be shy of your flaws and you got to be transparent. So you got to put them out there. For instance, you are getting your product manufactured, right? So you got different parts coming from different, let's say, vendors, and you put them together in the United States. Or if you're in the UK, let's say you're in the UK, right? Now, on your website or on the product brochure, you're saying made in the USA or made in UK or whatever. But maybe a couple of the parts come from overseas. Maybe they come from Italy or they come from China. Do you have to list that some of the parts in your product come from China or Italy or Bangladesh? And if you say that this is made in the USA, is that being an inauthentic brand? Because for me, it appears that they're confusing authenticity with honesty, right? So maybe I'm wrong, but this is from my experience of working with hundreds of different brands, building hundreds of brands for the last 20, 22 years. Authenticity is not the same as being honest. And of course, dishonesty doesn't mean that if a company is dishonest, that they cannot be authentic. Okay, we will unravel what this whole maze is. Authentic versus honest versus dishonest, all those things, business tactics, flaws, transparency. I mean, there's lots and lots of layers to this equation. Okay. Forbes, brand authenticity. Is it really that complicated? Okay. They are saying that it's about commitment. And so they say, so how far does the brand commitment need to go? There have been long stories of Coke drivers drinking Pepsi, for example. Okay, so they're talking about competitive strategies and referencing them as benchmarks or markers for authenticity. Could be. Great example. Okay, so they're saying here that Lululemon's CEO yoga pants debacle, right? And also the long slog to get rid of American Apparel CEO. Right. Then there is there's feminist apparel, a story documented by Refiner29. And okay, the shot of it is the employees of the small company found out the CEO created the company under false circumstances, which he apparently readily admitted to. Dealing directly with the authenticity of the brand as one enabling and supporting women against toxic culture. Okay. And the response of that CEO was to fire everyone and, just continuing. Okay. So here they're saying that some of the employees found out that this particular brand was launched or was created under false circumstances. That means right now the brand is saying that it is supportive of women against toxic culture. But apparently the CEO perhaps had a different story. So he probably had something in his past that went against this idea, this premise. And when he created the company, he did not have these ideals or goals. And then later on, he admitted to it. And then, of course, he went ahead and fired everyone. But anyway, so how does authenticity play in this equation? So what's happening here? A guy starts a company. Now, I'm not talking about this guy, okay? Forget this guy. I just reference it because it's in this article. But let's just talk about somebody out there, okay? Small business owner. So he or she probably closed down a previous business, was on the lookout for starting a new business, and then hit upon an idea, saw a gap in the market, and decided to take advantage of that gap, and then launch a business. Over the next few years, that business becomes a success. However, that gap, that niche, that opportunity that this person saw when launching the business, when created the business, is now, after a few years, becomes unacceptable, right? Is something that, let's say, people, don't like anymore, or they consider that to be something that is questionable. Now, is that brand authentic? Okay. Dishonest? I don't know. So where do you set the stage, right? How do you stack these things? Would you say that because he or she started this company a few years ago, saw a niche in the market, a gap in the market, and at that time, that gap was acceptable, right? And over the years, actually, people would have loved this brand and would have thanked the brand for fulfilling that gap. But now, maybe there's something happened in the world, like the Me Too movement or something else, right? And then that creates a shift in culture, a change in the psyche. Does this brand suddenly become inauthentic? Does that CEO suddenly become dishonest? Okay, yeah, that's something, we need to think about. And it's something that has to be questioned when things are being looked at. Okay. Papa John's. Yeah. Great stories here, right? We got great stories. Okay, let's look at this. What makes a brand authentic? And this is by a branding strategy insider. It's a blog that I appreciate. It's a fantastic blog. Okay, so they're saying what makes a brand authentic? Authentic products. Okay. Natural authenticity. We perceive as authentic what comes from the earth and remains unaltered by synthetic substances like fertilizers and pesticides. Okay. Original authenticity. Levi's 501 are the original jeans worn by workers searching for gold. Okay. So if you are original or you're perceived to be original, that means you are a pioneer. You started the brand. You started a particular product. You are authentic. And anybody else that creates a similar product, they're inauthentic. Okay? That's what Levi's would like people to believe. Not just Levi's. Any one of the pioneers. When they say we are the ones who started this product or we created this product. Scotch tape, for example. Fine. But would that make other brands that came along and took market share from the pioneer, are they considered to be inauthentic? Is that fair? Okay. Authentic experience, authenticity in services, authenticity fake and real, authenticity in branding. Okay. Louis Vuitton epitomizes authenticity. The brand was created in 1854. Okay. Who invented flat top trunks that people could easily stack when traveling. If LV has since extended its brands to a plethora of leather goods and fashion items, it remains true to its roots, being a metalier or trunk maker. Okay. In contrast, Hollister is mostly made up. The brand was officially established in 1922. The marketing was complete with carefully pixelated sepia-tone pictures of good-looking guys and gals holding surfboards on the beach. It turns out the brand was founded in 2000 by parent company A&F. Okay. So they're talking about the brand story and whether your brand story is authentic or not. Because if you look at Louis Vuitton, they're saying because Louis Vuitton started as a trunk maker, right? These luggage trunks. And it's still, apparently it remains true to its roots by being a metalier trunk maker. I don't see how that is possible. Because I know Louis Vuitton. I love Louis Vuitton. I have a lot of products that I bought from Louis Vuitton. And the trunks, yes, they still make them, but only as showpieces. Yeah, people do buy them, but the original trunks, they're not authentic anymore, right? Louis Vuitton sells shoes, perfumes, bags, especially bags, scarves, things like that, right? Fashion accessories. It does not focus on trunks. In fact, those trunks are just a legacy thing. Hollister, on the other hand, so people say that's an authentic, or at least brand strategy insider says that's an authentic brand. But that brand authenticity is now being based on the story they tell, right? The brand story. To me, those are two different things. Hollister is an authentic brand. Okay, so they made up a brand story. And this is confusing because it says here, the brand was officially established in 1922. It turns out the brand was founded in 2000. Okay, what about A&F? So the parent company. Now, is Hollister claiming that they were... okay, so this one here says 1922, right? So maybe that's what they're referring to. But that's a marketing thing. That's yes. Somebody could say, well, are they misleading customers into thinking that this was 1922? I don't know. I don't know the specifics, but let's just talk hypothetically, right? So the parent company A&F may have been established in 1922. I'm not sure. We'll have to look that up. But they then founded this Hollister as a separate storytelling brand, right? And then they tagged on 1922. That's a marketing kind of faux pas, right? That's a marketing dishonesty, not an authentic kind of, it has got nothing to do with brand authenticity. The brand authenticity lies in how they tell the story, their products, the experience, and how people perceive it. Now you might say, well, the perception is also, if they read their advertising, they look at their posters and they see 1922, they're going to perceive this brand as established in 1922. Well, the parent company may have been established in 1922. Anyway, I'm not going to argue. I'm not for or against this, okay? Well, I'm just analyzing, okay? I'm being the devil's advocate here. Just thinking through. Right. Okay. What about examples of cause marketing? Because authenticity is tied closely to cause. Nowadays, if your brand stands for something, it is considered to be an authentic brand. In fact, a lot of the strategists out there or gurus on YouTube, when they talk about how to make your brand successful on Instagram or whatever, they talk about being authentic, right? And authenticity is tied to having a cause, supporting a cause. Now, a lot of greenwashing is happening, right? Brands just tacking on a cause and then donating some money and then getting some credibility from that, leveraging the credibility. But is that authentic? Are those brands authentic? Would you call that authentic brand? Let's look at a few examples. Examples of the best and worst brand purpose campaigns, right? Okay, right. This one here. This is Kendall Jenner, walking out. This you might have seen the ad. I think it's been pulled. I'm not sure. It's on YouTube. So there's a protest going on. There's lots of civilians on the streets, and then there's this policeman, right? And there's having a standoff. And then Kendall Jenner jumps out of this bus or whatever. She has Pepsi. She brings it. She gives it to the policeman. And then everybody's happy. Everybody's drinking Pepsi. They forget the issue at hand. And then now, of course, that ad, I think, was pulled because, and in fact, it says here that Pepsi issued a public apology because it's insensitive, it's tone deaf, right? Absolutely. Okay, MasterCard, this advertisement says that for each goal scored by Messi or Neymar Jr., 10,000 children will receive a meal. And then, of course, there was backlash because they said it doesn't matter who scores a goal, you need to feed the children, right? So, in the end, MasterCard conceded and agreed that it would donate the meals, yet were left red-faced. Proof that certain topics, such as starving children, should perhaps be left out of marketing campaigns. Okay, so when MasterCard did this, and obviously it's a mistake, it's insensitive, does that make it an inauthentic brand or a dishonest brand? Because this is a marketing campaign, right? Okay. Patagonia. I love this. I love this campaign by Patagonia, right? 2016, Black Friday, Patagonia, released this full page advert saying, don't buy this jacket. And then it went on to explain, what it takes and how by participating in Black Friday, you are encouraging this kind of fast fashion and the toll on the world. And it says, reduce, repair, reuse, recycle. This is an authentic campaign. Is it authentic because it was safe? Of course, Patagonia is an authentic brand. I mean, yeah, I'll cut to the chase. I'm not even going to debate that. Patagonia is one of those authentic brands. It's got a great brand story. It's got great campaigns. It's got great core values and what it stands for. Yeah, it's the full package. Of course, tomorrow it might make a mistake. One of the campaigns that releases may be insensitive, maybe badly thought out. And then that could create an issue. But then that will never take away from the authenticity of the brand, right? Okay. And then, yeah, there are a few others here. Let's look at 5 examples of brand authenticity to help you make a profit. This is from Instapage, right? Let's see, what are they saying? Examples, right? So, Dove. Campaign for real beauty, right? Okay, so the new mission statement was that beauty should be a source of confidence and not anxiety. By consistently aligning its marketing efforts with this mission statement, Dove has been able to change its public perception to a brand that authentically champions women's empowerment and wants to change the conversation around beauty. Yes, it does want to change the conversation around beauty, but so would you call this an authentic brand now because the conversation is the right conversation? So Dove is not making a profit. The campaigns are not targeted at increasing sales, creating a perfect persona, and then, of course, breaking in the sales, making profit. Of course it is, right? Of course it is. Just because the conversation is the right conversation doesn't make it an authentic brand. Authenticity is not this. Let's look at another example. Okay. Patagonia. Oh yeah, we've discussed Patagonia. Yeah, look. Buy it. Used. Wear it. Trade it in. Yeah. Don't buy there it is. Don't buy this jacket. Buffer. Okay. Buffer and transparency. So Buffer is being transparent, right? So they're saying we try our best to live up to our value of default to transparency. So they're talking about their salaries, their revenue, their values, their pricing, diversity, open source. Yeah, everything. Does that make them an authentic brand? Yes, it does, because they're being transparent. But if another company is not transparent, that does not make them an inauthentic brand, right? Because at the end of the day, Buffer is also about making money, getting sales. And I've had an issue with Buffer some time ago where, they were double charging and it was a legacy account. And then I think they started charging the new rates or something like that. But anyway, it's a problem that I had as a customer. And would I think that Buffer was an inauthentic brand? No, of course not, because they're doing business. That is why it's called business. Bringing morality into business and into capitalism is a fool's errand, because at the end of the day, whatever you talk about, whatever kind of benchmarks and greenwashing, whatever happens, companies, brands exist to make a profit. If they're not making a profit, they have no right to exist. And to question brands' motives and then benchmark them against authenticity, I think is wrong. So you need to listen. I'm not condoning dishonest brands, right? That's not what I'm talking about. This is about exploring what authenticity really means, right? And what it means to brands and to consumers. So I'm not saying that dishonest brand practices or dishonest business practices are inevitable. Therefore, no. That's not what I'm saying, and that's not what this topic is about. Okay, right? Chobani, how we make our product matters. A cup of yogurt won't change the world, but how we make it. Yes. So now brands are taking these unique perspectives, something that has not been addressed or a pain point that other brands have, flipping it and then using that to leverage and then, gain market share, mind share. Nothing wrong with that. Fantastic brand strategy. Fantastic. But it's nothing more than a brand strategy. It is meant to gain market share, to gain mind share. Now, are they doing good to the world? High quality, strained yogurt. So they are doing some good things. Maybe, it's maybe, they're being sustainable and all those things are great. And in fact, everyone should do them, right? They should not become benchmarks of an authentic brand. But that's how the world is, and I agree. So Chobani, right? Zappos, oh yes, beautiful brand. I love it. Is it an authentic brand? Yes. Is it an honest brand? Yeah. It's got these core values, and Tony Say, it's a great brand. How authentic is your brand? Look, building brand authenticity comes from within and permeate every aspect of a company. Marketing as an authentic brand means investing the time to discover what your brand stands for and ensuring that your message aligns with your core values and actions. Okay, so again, I don't particularly like that bit because it just says that you got to look at every aspect of your company, and then you need to invest time to discover what your brand stands for. So you got your values and your purpose and all that, and then your message should align with that. That is just positioning strategy. That is just brand strategy. That is not authenticity. Okay, how are we doing? Yeah, we've done 26 minutes. I could go on, right? I could go on, and maybe I won't. Maybe I better wrap up. Right? I mean, there are a few other examples that I wanted to talk about, but no, let's just wrap up. So what am I saying? At the end of the day, what am I saying? I'm saying that authenticity is something that you need to look at as a part of the DNA of your brand, right? Authenticity is about the way you tell your story. Of course, what you stand for, core values and things like that. But transparency and honesty, these don't make authenticity, right? If you're an authentic brand, you're a brand that stands on its promise, whatever that promise might be. Now, even if that promise goes against popular culture right now, or popular sentiment, or what is accepted and what is not, you're still an authentic brand as long as you stay true to the brand promise. If that becomes unacceptable, right? Let's say your brand promise or one of your core values is now out of fashion, right? It's not acceptable in society anymore. What do? If you want to still remain as an authentic brand, then yeah, you got to get rid of that value, or you got to start a new company. But just talking about flaws that you may have, or your brand may have, and then trying to be transparent doesn't make you an authentic brand, right? So don't use that for marketing purposes to say that you're an authentic brand. Use it, of course, in your marketing to gain the market share, to gain sales, revenue. There's nothing wrong with that. But then authenticity is something that you don't mess with, right? Authenticity is not something you throw around. Now, join in the debate. Let me know what you think of this. What do you think of authenticity? Am I talking bullshit? Right? Is this bullshit? The examples I gave and the arguments I put forward, is it all, don't they make sense? Just let me know. Leave a comment below and let's discuss this topic. Let's analyze. If you have any examples, pop them below, and then we can discuss about that. All right. Till my next video, take care.